What's going on, guys? Car Guy here, and it looks like HBO has released some new pictures regarding the new season of Game of Thrones. We got 15 brand new pictures that tease what's to come. Now granted, a lot of these pictures are self-explanatory, and there really isn't much to say about all of them, but as always, I'll give you my thoughts on them. If you'd like a closer look, I've uploaded all of them to my Instagram page, so feel free to head on over there. If you're curious about the next episode of the Game of Thrones podcast, then stay tuned towards the end of the video. Now let's get to it. The first picture we have here is of Dany, possibly at Dragonstone. There have been many rumors that she will be using Stannis' old castle as her base of operations in Westeros. This serves as a callback to when her ancestors invaded the continent and took it over 300 years earlier. I will say that I'm really enjoying her outfit this season. The black with hints of red all over is a really nice touch, but unfortunately it seems that a lot of the characters are wearing black this season, and while it looks good on some, others not so much. I get that winter is here and it's supposed to be very gloomy, but color's okay too, guys. One of the things I'm excited to see with Dany is watching her explore diplomacy options with the Lords of Westeros and how she'll handle Cersei and Euron's tactics against her. Despite claiming to be the rightful ruler of Westeros, she is a foreigner to these lands, so it's only right that people be a little cautious around her. Not only that, but she's brought Dothraki with her, and they have a reputation of raping and pillaging. Hopefully these scenarios will give Tyrion some room to shine, considering in the last season he was lacking the usual charm we've come to expect from him. The next picture we have is everybody's favorite newcomer of the previous season, Lyanna Mormont. It's good that she's come back and hopefully she survives until the end, but I do hope the writers don't overuse her. What makes Bronn a great character is that he's used in small doses, and every time he does appear, it's usually worth it. I will say though that I doubt we will see much of her in later episodes, considering that most of the main story will take place south of Winterfell or north of the Wall, so I don't expect to see much of her, but hopefully when she does appear, she still has that feisty attitude. Speaking of north of the Wall, we have Bran and Mira. When we last saw them, Benjen had rescued them, and thanks to Bran, we finally learned of Jon's parentage. But I do hope we get more of Bran's weirwood visions. Personally, I was never a big fan of him without the visions, and I often skipped his scenes back before Season 6. And I do feel like there is more he can do with those visions. Some people expect Bran to warg into a dragon. I don't know how I feel about that. Will it be cool? Hell yeah. Will it be too predictable? Yeah. I like to think that the reason Bran can warg into Hodor and the direwolves is because they're tied to the north, along with the warg himself. Whether or not Bran has learned enough from the Raven to go inside a dragon's mind and control it, that is still to be seen, but you could make the argument that if he's powerful enough to go back in time, then he should be powerful enough to warg into a dragon, or maybe into a White Walker. Food for thought. Next we have Jaime and Cersei in King's Landing. I'm excited to see what she can do as a ruler, but I doubt we'll actually see her manage the country. With only 7 episodes, we probably won't have enough time to see another small council meeting, which is a shame because in the 4th book, Cersei does a great job of mishandling everything, and it shows the readers just how much of a fuck-up she really is when she's in charge. The one takeaway here is that Jaime is still by her side, which I've seen many female fans commend Jaime for this. The reason being is that, despite Cersei's many mistakes, he is still loyal to her and loves her regardless of how many innocent people she's killed. Yeah, love makes you do crazy things. But I get Jaime's position here, kind of. He probably understands that she did what she needed to do to get rid of the Lannister enemies, but at the same time, they've made completely new ones, and if rumor are true, he'll be fighting all of these new enemies this season. So good luck, Jaime, and try not to lose the other hand, buddy. Next we have Sam and Gilly. Now, if you expected me to groan and complain, then you're mistaken. Season 6 Sam and Gilly weren't on screen much, and thank God for it. The less of them we got, the more enjoyable they were, and hopefully that continues. I can see that Sam has begun his studies, and even Gilly is learning how to read, which is a nice surprise. But like I said before, if they start that annoying bullshit where they act like high school lovers, then I'm skipping that crap immediately. I don't want to go through this whole, I love you, no I love you, for this whole season. And the one thing I hope they do answer is the whole Sam stealing the sword from his dad's storyline. Does his dad come to get it back? Does something stop him from doing so? We'll have to see. Next up, we have Brienne and Tormund again, and I really like this picture for obvious reasons. I doubt we'll really see these two hook up, but it's a cute little thing going on that hopefully bears fruit in the final season. Brienne and Tormund are definitely a cute couple, but this is Game of Thrones, people. One of them will probably get stabbed at a wedding eventually, and the other will trip over a ladybug and fall into a volcano, so don't get your hopes up. But in all seriousness, I really want both of them to survive. I can see Brienne making it towards the end, but I don't know about Tormund. He's an excellent addition to Jon's team and the Winterfell storyline, but compared to Jon, he's not as important, unfortunately. I would like to see Tormund as the Lord of the Karstark Castle, and maybe even the Dreadfort. the Bolton Castle. The wildlings deserve more than the lands given to them. They deserve titles and holdings for their contribution to taking back Winterfell, and hopefully this is addressed in the first few episodes. Next, we have the most amazing character to ever grace our television screens, Petyr Baelish. Now, I've heard rumors that he's going to die this season. If it's true, then let's just say I won't be a happy camper. Personally, I do feel like his story is over because for the past 2 seasons, he hasn't really been doing much, and his character is one that works in the shadows to make sure certain things move into place. But everything seems to be moving without him, and I can't imagine him in the last season's last episode. Not only that, but the one thing I really want addressed is the whole Petyr being behind the betrayal of Ned Stark and the lie to Catelyn that Tyrion tried to have her son killed. Remember how in Season 1 he pretty much started the War of Five Kings by feeding Catelyn false information to the point where she arrested Tyrion? I doubt he planned for Tyrion to meet up with her, but he fed enough misinformation about Jon Arryn's death being the work of the Lannisters and how Tyrion tried to kill Brienne. So I really do hope this is brought up and addressed before his demise. Now, this is a weird picture. The Hound is somewhere very snowy. He could be up north, but why would he go there? If you read the leaks, then you probably already know why, but at the same time, this doesn't prove them true. Winter has arrived, so it'll be snowy everywhere, so we'll just have to see what's going on with the Hound, but I do hope he survives and meets up with either Arya or Sansa again. Or maybe both. That'd be a real treat. He's another character I can't really imagine making it towards the end, but I would love if he died protecting Sansa or even Arya. The Hound has definitely deserved some amount of peace, and hopefully he gets it. Next we have Arya, and it does look like she's in Winterfell, but I'm not too sure. It looks like she is at a feast, but she couldn't possibly still be at the Twins. She killed Walder Frey, so there's no way she'd still be there. This has to be somewhere she'd feel comfortable enough where she's not in disguise. One of the things I'm excited for this season is Arya meeting back up with Sansa and Bran, and most importantly Jon Snow, but something tells me she won't be seeing Jon early on. The original plot of Game of Thrones, by the way, involved a love triangle between her, Jon Snow, and Tyrion. I doubt we'll ever see Arya and Tyrion together, but there is a lot of people who would enjoy the idea of Arya and Jon Snow getting together. And speaking of Jon Schmo, in this picture it looks like Jon is in the crypts of Winterfell, possibly paying his last respects to Rickon, or maybe even Ned Stark. Now, I don't really know if Ned's remains ever made it back to Winterfell. In Season 2, I believe Petyr does deliver his remains to Catelyn when she's in Renly's camp, but she has to leave the place with Brienne after Renly's death. Hopefully that is cleared up, but the most likely thing going on here is that Jon is visiting his mother's grave unknowingly. There are rumors that Jon will learn the truth behind his parentage, but I hope this doesn't happen. It should be a secret between Bran and maybe Sam, and that's it. But like with Dany and Cersei, I would like to see how Jon rules the North and handles the aftermath of the Karstark and Bolton lands and holdings. I also want to see how Sansa and Jon's relationship will play out. I know some people think that Jon being declared king over Sansa is kind of insane considering he is a bastard, but personally I doubt Sansa cares too much about ruling the North and is probably just happy to be home. This is a controversial topic though. Sansa did save Jon after he ran in there like an idiot and got a lot of men killed because he didn't follow battle formation, but at the same time, Sansa kept the information from Jon. Had she told them, they probably could have waited for the Knights of the Vale, especially when she kept pestering Jon about the lack of men. I understand not wanting to rely on Petyr Baelish showing up or not, but at the same time, if you have a possible trump card, then you should reveal it to your allies. Not only that, but she could have written to Petyr, "Please respond to this letter if you're coming." And she kind of did by telling him she'll give him what he wants. And then totally not do it, which I find hilarious. But let me ask you guys this. Should the Lord of Winterfell be someone who shed blood for it, or had a hand in winning it? I'll let you decide that one. And finally, we have Dany and her allies all gathered, and something tells me that it has to do with either her dragons or the White Walkers, judging on Miss Sunday's expression there. We all know that Jon and Dany will be meeting up this season, and maybe we'll see Jon interacting with Drogon, or even delivering proof of the White Walkers. I'm excited about this meeting, but not so much on them hooking up. If you forget, Jon's dad, who everybody still thinks is Ned Stark, overthrew Dany's father, and she should be mad about that. If anything, he is a rebel and he should bend the knee, but we'll see how that plays out. Now, there are other pictures, but most of them are self-explanatory, and they just show us some returning characters, such as Varys, Missandei, Tyrion, and Davos. If you want to check out all of them, be sure to head on over to my Instagram or Facebook page. As for the Game of Thrones podcast, Episode 2 has been recorded and will be uploaded on Preston's channel by the end of the week, I hope. If you're not subscribed to Preston, that's okay. I will link the video on my Facebook and Twitter page when it's uploaded, so if you're following me on those platforms, you will be alerted, or you can follow the podcast on iTunes and SoundCloud. Links for all these are in the description below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to comment your thoughts on these pictures, and if you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and consider supporting us on Patreon. All patrons receive early access to videos and the Game of Thrones podcast. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you.